everybody. I want to thank you guys for coming out to DC Lottery Live tonight. First of all, why don't you guys give yourselves a big round of applause. Once these tickets went on sale, you guys sold them out in all of 60 minutes. Okay, you guys packed this place. All right? So we're going to have a good comedy show, a great comedy show. My part, hopefully, is good. Chad and Funny Danny, they are going to slay. They're going to be great. We're going to have a great time out here tonight. Then we're going to go over to the Big Stick and have a good time, have a few drinks, and celebrate Dukes and Danny. Hang up and listen. So let's make some noise. Let's get this thing started tonight. See, this is what happens, what I'm doing here. This is what happens when you can't say no to people. Now, let me explain. I can say no to telemarketers. I can say no to people who come try to sell me stuff at my house. It's easy to tell them no. I've gotten good at that over the years. But when somebody like Chad Dukes calls me out of the blue, like he did, let's say, Tuesday of this week, and says, Cakes, we gotta have you up and doing 5 minutes here tonight. We have to do it. And I'm thinking, I've never done stand-up comedy. Chad, no, I can't do it. It's a terrible idea. It's a terrible bit. I can MC. I've MC'd 1,000 things before. I've been up on stage at the HF Festival, done that. I've MC'd comedy shows with Chad and Danny in the past. That I can do. Stand-up comedy, it's not my bag. It's not my thing. Then he applies the pressure a little bit. Like, come on, Case, do 5 minutes. That's all you need. 5 minutes. You can do 5 minutes in your sleep. So then I start caving. I cave. Like a house of cards. I just crumble down. Because I like Chad. I don't want to disappoint Chad or Danny. I want to make those guys happy. So I agree. So I'm here. You're welcome, okay? Get a swig of water here. So what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen. 2 years from now, I'm going to get a phone call from that guy sitting right next to my wife. I'm going to point him out. Chris Conner. He's going to call me. He's going to say, and I hope I never get this call, but God forbid. He's going to call me and say, Cakes, you know what? Junkies ratings going, whoop, going to the tank. They're not doing so well. So I've got an idea. And I'm going to be like, all right, what's the idea? I'm a team player. I'm willing to help out. And Chris is going to say, it's kind of a crazy idea, but just hear me out here. We're going to take a wire, and we're going to run it, I don't know, from the top of this 10-story building. We're going to run it to Nats Park. And you're going to walk on it without a fucking safety net as a radio bit, as a stunt. And I'm going to say, well, Chris, I think that's a pretty bad idea, because I've never walked on a wire ever in my life. Okay, I'm scared of everything. I'm scared of everything. Why would I get up on a wire with no safety net? But then Chris is going to say, well, it's to help the station. The station's struggling a little bit. You've done wacky bits before. I mean, you've slept in a coffin. You've eaten 15 hot dogs in 14 minutes and 55 seconds. So why wouldn't you get up on a wire and risk your life to help 106.7 The Fan? And I'll think about it for 2 minutes. And I'll say, okay, why not? I've never done it before, but if it's gonna help the station, I can't say no. I'll get up on that wire, and I'll probably plummet to my death. That's what's gonna happen, because I've never walked on a wire without a safety net. But it's basically what I'm doing here tonight. But I'm very happy to be invited out here by Chad Dukes and by Funny Danny. So we're gonna celebrate them a little bit here at this point. Funny Danny. I love him. Let's hear it for Funny Danny. Come on. Headlining the show tonight. Love that guy. But his love for Star Wars, it's a little bit weird, isn't it? It's a little bit strange. We've all seen Star Wars here. I'm going to try to limit the crowd work as much as possible. But we've all seen Star Wars, okay? We all know who Jabba the Hutt is, okay? You know who Jabba the Hutt. big fat lizard, whatever. He's gluttonous, eats all the time, wants to kill Han Solo, wants to bang Princess Leia. I don't know what he wants to do. Okay? So, all of us know who Jabba the Hutt is. Everybody in here. Danny knows who that little sawed-off puppet that hangs out with Jabba the Hutt. He not only knows who it is, he knows his name. Nobody in here knows his name. By the way, his name is Salacious B. Crumb, in case you're wondering. If you really want to be ostracized by all your peer group and blurt that out at some point. But I love Funny Dan. He's a funny guy. Good guy. But let's be honest. Danny was a little bit funnier and cooler when he was lugging around an extra 25 or 30 pounds, right? I mean, come on. Come on. You're always funnier and more jolly when you got a little extra weight on you, right? Danny talks about it on his show all the time. I mean, he looks great. He looks amazing. He's dropped like 30 pounds. He's svelte. But he's freaking miserable. He doesn't eat anything. I never see him eat, ever, at the station. Like, never. I'm eating all the time. I'm spending $8 a day at that stupid vending area that they put in this new station. It's killing me. Danny never eats. Ever. You know what I had for lunch today? Triple fried Bonchon wings. You know how good they were? You know who didn't have triple fried Bonchon wings? Danny Rouillet. He probably had Sprouts, a bottle of water, some cardboard. I don't know what Funny Danny eats, but I never see him eat ever. But I do love Danny. I'm kind of killing him a little bit. Getting back to the Star Wars bit for Danny. I know I'm jumping around a little bit. It's my first time. You guys have to work with me a bit. Danny's worlds are going to collide on July 19th, I believe is the date. Does anybody know what's happening July 19th?
Star Wars Day.
Star Wars Day at Nats Park. I mean, what does, besides his wife and his, I think about a 1.5-year-old son, what does Danny Rouillet love more than the Nats and Star Wars together? Probably nothing. But here's the thing. There's so much pressure on Danny for Star Wars Day at Nats Park. Now, for a guy like me, casual Star Wars fan, I can put on a brown bathrobe, a piece of rope, grow my beard out a little bit, and I can be Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? I mean, it's easy. And nobody's gonna give me any shit for that, right? No, of course not. I mean, that's cakes. He doesn't really care about Star Wars. But Danny, he can't just stroll in like in a Darth Vader costume. He can't be your garden variety, Luke Skywalker or Han Solo. Because all the nerds are going to come up to Danny and be like, Danny, what are you doing? You're punting your costume. You need to be somebody weird and obscure. You're giving up, man. Danny, what are you doing? So much pressure on Danny. But he's going to love it. He's going to love Star Wars Day out at Nats Park. Let's talk now about my good friend Chad Dukes. Let's hear it for Chad. Chad is my guy. I've known Chad almost 20 years now. Chad and I are tight. Love Chad. But he can get mad at me sometimes. Chad can get mad at me. And the reason, it hasn't happened lately, but the reason Chad used to get mad at me the last couple of years, like if somebody's a dick to Chad on Twitter, okay? And people are dicks to other people on Twitter all the time. Happens to me, happens to everybody in here. But if you have a radio show, people are real assholes to you on Twitter. Okay, so Chad would get, like a message at Chad Dukes. You suck! Get off the radio! You fucking stink! I hate you! So then Chad would look at that guy's account and see that he would have, 7 or 8 followers. And then Chad would look at the list of followers, and there would be like 4 egg avatars, and then there would be Money Metal Cakes following that douchebag. Happened so many times. Just so many times. And then Chad would just assault me on Twitter, and I would feel like an asshole because I'm following this guy that's just strafing Chad on Twitter, and I just felt like a jerk. So, what's happened is I've followed a lot less people on Twitter over the past few years. That's just the way it works. But Chad works hard. Chad works hard here at 106.7 The Fan. The time I feel worse for Chad, and this is about 80% of the summer, is when he is broadcasting from that red tin box out at Nats Park. You guys know. You guys have all seen it. You guys have seen Chad in there. Sweating, it's so hot, it's July, it's 91 degrees, there's no air conditioning. Chad is slaving through his show, he's just grinding through it, just waiting to get to the end of it. Now he's doing a professional job, but let's be honest, he wants to get the fuck out of that red box as quickly as possible. That's what Chad wants to do. I mean, it's like the Nat Shank redemption out there at Nats Park, okay, that red box. But he doesn't even have cool people to hang out with, like Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins, or was it a mouse? Is there a mouse in that? It's a fucking overrated movie, in my opinion. He's got horse. He's got horse to hang out with. He's got bald Bodie to hang out with in the red box. All Bodie is doing is gator chopping. Gator chop in the corner. He's probably scurrying out to go get Angry Orchards and slamming them in the men's room the whole time. And all Chad wants to do is get out of DC and get back to his house, his brand new house that he bought. And I don't blame him. Who wouldn't want to go to the sanctuary of your home? Hang out with your wife, have some downtime. And Chad has put a brand new pool into his backyard. I've seen the pictures, looks pretty nice. Chad is saying 40 grand, I've heard. 40 grand into that pool in his backyard. The only problem is, it's lacking one critical element. It doesn't have any water! It's summer, and Chad's pool, as of right now, has no water. I have more water up here on the stage at DC Lottery Live than Chad Dukes has in his pool. It's going to be pretty fun when you get your invite to the Chad Dukes pool opening party in week 15 of the NFL season, because that is what's going to happen. Thank you guys so much.